Hello, this is TCG and today we'll be doing a CTF called Django. So first things first, let's run a net discover. Net discover tells us the IP address of the system, that is 192.168.56.118. Now let's run an nmap to see the open ports and the configurations. There are two ports open, the 21 port, which is the TCP port, and the 80 port, which apparently hosts an Apache server. Let's check it out. On this Apache server, let's open site, and then we have this website. These two seem to be normal, but this one, the bus car, this is interesting. After a quick web search on Google, turns out bus car means search in Spanish, which means that we are meant to use this to search for something. This sounds like a local file inclusion or an LFI vulnerability. To test this out, what we can do is we can just simply put a PWD here, and yes, it turns out to be an LFI indeed. This shows us the path of where the website is being hosted on the machine. We can use other commands in the same place, such as ls, to tell us other files and folders on this particular path. After a bit of searching, we find that we have a file which has a username and a password. Let's see if this can be used for the FTP service that was opened on port 21. These credentials seem incorrect, so we're gonna try the name of the user on the machine, which is Jangow01. We're now logged in into the FTP of the machine. Since the FTP doesn't lead into anything, we're gonna try and use same credentials on the machine itself. Now that we have access to the system, let's try and find any vulnerability. There seems to be an exploit for this version on exploit DV and on CVE database. The first flag is here at user.txt. The file has been transferred to the temp folder of this machine. Let's go to this folder and find out what happens. Do note that you can only put files in FTP in temp folders. Now let's try to run this. Now that we have access to the root, we can use this to gather the flag on the root folder.